What's going on, everybody? Happy holidays and season's greetings. My name is Ben and welcome back to another episode here on the bench for the 12 Sprues of Kit-mas. Today we are moving on to build day number 9. Took a little bit of a break over the Christmas holiday just because I needed some time and I had some family things that cropped up, but we're back at it. So let's go ahead and pop day 9 and see what we have in store for us today. Now, as you can see, we've completed the first 4, we've completed the second 4, so we're moving on to the final 4. This one here, day number 9, I'm hoping it's going to be as easy and as fun as the last episode we did, but we do have some doozies here left in the stash, so who knows what we're going to get. Let's go ahead and punch on through here, feel around, let's find that label. Okay, got it, let's pull it on out, and let's check it out. Okay. We got a rodent. Yep, this is the last rodent we have in the stash for this build series. Let's go ahead and grab that box and check it out. Now, the albatross was difficult, to say the least. The false D3, much better. Still difficult, but a little bit better than the albatross. This one, I have no idea how this is going to go. Absolutely none. So let's go ahead and open up the box here and check out the parts. Now on paper, this actually looks pretty clean. There are some issues here and there we need to fix on the kit. Otherwise, it doesn't look too bad. We've got a sheet of decals for 3 different versions. Not too shabby. I had a little bit of issue with the decals on both the False and on Albatross D1, but they're not too bad. Just takes a lot of microsol. We've got 3 different color schemes. We have 1 Finnish and 2 Russian. Looks like for the Russian scheme, we have just a basic green and black camo, and then we have a whitewashed green and black camo. That actually looks really cool. I might want to go ahead and try that. I've never done a whitewashed aircraft before, so that might be a good time to try it out. The parts themselves, like I said, do look a little bit cleaner than the Albatross, but I still think that's going to require quite a bit of cleanup, especially around the wing roots, around the intakes, all the different parts and pieces, because this is one of those aircraft that is designed to be made into several different versions of the lag. So we can do a lot of different mixing and matching of parts to achieve different versions of the Lag 3, which is kind of interesting. But I think I'm going to still stick with the 35th series, which is what we're going to be hopefully using. But like I said, we have tons of parts for a bunch of different variants. You can see right here, this is a cowling we're more than likely going to be using. It's got the 12.7 machine gun, and then it's got a center firing 20mm cannon. So that's the one we're going to be using. But we also have the Series 1 and the Series 4 cowlings in there as well. We also given alternate wings. The later lags had leading edge slats. The earlier lags did not. We have different propeller nose cones. We have a more sharpened spinner and then a more bulbous spinner. Lots to choose from, guys. I don't know how it fits, but I think we can make something of it. Now, this is one of those aircraft that I have a ton of reference books about. For example, we have this one right here by Squadron Signal. This is a lag fighter in action. I gotta say, great book. Not a huge read or anything, but it goes through all the major variants of the Lag 3. Some very nice close-up shots, goes through a ton of information. So this is going to be one of our main references for going ahead and building our 35th series. We also have this one right here. This is the Offspring book, Lag and Lavochkin Aces of World War II. And in here, they do cover the early lags. And if you check out right here, there's our whitewashed Red 30, exactly what we have here in the kit. Now, it's interesting to compare the real life version and then the model version. There are some discrepancies in placement of different numbers. We have half a red star on the back tail, as where we have a full red star in the kit. So we're probably going to try to copy as much as we can the references. Here's one of those color profiles. As you can see, the whitewash camo is kind of spotty. We don't have an idea about the top of it, but we can go ahead and extrapolate from other pictures. And then we have half that red star on the back tail. So armed with our references, I'm going to go ahead and jump into construction. I want to get as much done as I possibly can on this particular build. We have a lot to do to get this thing built up into a basic flying chassis. And then after that point, we can come in and we can discuss primer, pre-shade, do all the camo, and then of course the whitewash. So lots to do, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into that first time lapse. I want to go ahead and start building out that cockpit, painting everything. We're probably going to paint the cockpit a silver color, because I tend to see a lot of lags painted in a lighter, like silver or maybe gray color. Get everything done that we possibly can. Let's go ahead and jump in, see what we can do. All right, everybody. So we are back, and this little lag has caused me so much trouble. We had issues with seam fitting on the cowling, on the intakes, on the radiators, on the wing roots, on the fuselage. The cockpit going up into the fuselage didn't fit right. Nothing fit inside the cockpit very well. The windows didn't fit on the back here. The canopy doesn't fit. Nothing fits on this model. I don't know quite how to explain it. Maybe it's user error, but I've never built a model like this before where nothing wants to fit. Everything requires 5, 6, maybe 7 times of sanding and test fitting over and over and over again. So that's even more than we had on the Albatross. I'm not exactly real pleased with Rodin, to be honest, but other than that, though, I will have to say there are some very nice details molded into the inside of the fuselage. The cockpit doesn't look too bad, to be honest. You're not really going to see much in there anyway because the cockpit canopy does not open. It's a single piece, so I'm not really too concerned about having it open and being able to look down inside. So I'm just going to glue it down. We masked off everything. The rear windows took forever to go ahead and get set up. We just couldn't get those cut out correctly. And even now we have gaps in the different areas because there was so much flash, I didn't know where the windows were supposed to go. So we did a lot of cleanup. Man, I am really tired of cleaning up plastic parts. I gotta tell you. 3 Rodin kits for this series, I think it's just 3 too many, to be honest. But you know what? I'm still having fun, so I can't really complain all that much. The lag is going together. Anywhere on the model where you see white is actually milliput. I used a ton of milliput to go ahead and fill up cracks, seams, and huge gaps in the plastic. Just so much work, guys. So let's go ahead and jump back into a time lapse. This is as good as I'm going to get it. We're going to go ahead and throw a couple of parts and pieces back on here, and I'm going to move over to priming. So we got to hit that prime. We got to come in with some pre-shade, probably NATO black, and then we're going to start painting our camo with that light blue undersurface with our 2-tone color scheme of NATO black and that green up on top of the aircraft. Finally, we'll come in there with some whitewash, and we'll use some straight out of the bottle white to come in and slowly kind of mist a very thin coat of white paint in different areas to make it look a little bit like whitewashed camo. I don't know how this is going to go, guys. I've never tried whitewashing any aircraft before, and this is all I have to work with, so we're just going to try it, guys. Back into that time lapse. Let's push on. Let's get everything painted, primed, and see where we can go from here. All right, we are back, and that actually turned out to be a lot of fun, guys. We have the entire aircraft all primed, pre-shaded, painted, and of course we have our two-tone camo with our blue undersurface and a whitewash up on top. I used a very thin mixture of whitewash, just hardly any paint, mostly thinner. And it looks okay. I try to just apply it in super thin coats to be able to have some of that color show up through as if it was wearing out a little bit. And I think I've achieved something that looks decent enough for this model. If this was maybe a larger scale or a better fitting model, I might take a bit more time, but I'm good with it. I'm ready to move on already. So we're gonna go ahead and hit those decals now. Last time, the decals with the rodent kits have not been the greatest. Sometimes they break, sometimes they're just too thick. So let's go ahead and get back into the time lapse. We're gonna apply all the decals, get this thing overcoated with future, and then we'll be back and we'll start our weathering process. We're getting there, guys. Let's just keep on keeping on. All right, everybody, so we are back, and as you can see, we have our lag all decaled. We have everything overcoated with future, so the decals are nicely sealed. So now it's time for weathering. You know, I gotta say, this isn't horrible. I'm not exactly loving the kit, but it looks kind of neat. Now, in terms of weathering, we're gonna go ahead and move up to some panel liners. I'm gonna use AK for white and white camouflage, and that has a cool like greenish tint to it. So that's gonna really work well on this aircraft as there is green and black underneath this whitewashed camo. So I'm hoping that kind of gives an impression of weathering. Then for any sort of gun dust or exhaust staining, we're going to use some AIM weathering powder. In this case, we'll use dark gray. Just kind of streak it around and kind of dirty everything down just a little bit. And yeah, we'll see where we go from there. Most of the aircraft is made of like a lacquered wood, so it's not really going to use any chipping. I might do some around here and there, but I don't know. I'm kind of over this kit. I just kind of want to finish it, move on to something with better fit. So onwards and upwards, guys, let's push on with weathering, hit it with a nice semi-flat coat, and see how we turn out. This should be the last time lapse of the day, so let's get it done. right, everybody, we are back. And I gotta say, I am so happy that I am finished with our Lag 3. Man, that was a tough model. That was the hardest model I've ever had to build here on the 12 sprues. Nothing fit right. Everything required 5, 6, maybe 7 times of dry fitting and sanding and dry fitting and sanding. Then I finally got everything together and I still had gaps. I had to use Milliput to go ahead and fill those gaps and sand everything down. But we finished it, so I'm happy about that. And I want to go ahead and show you guys our finished product. And here it is. It's not great. There's issues with the kit. There's issues with the paint job. I don't know if the whitewash really works. Again, my first time ever trying it, so I'm happy enough with it, but it's not great. Probably needs a lot more work. But overall though, it was an interesting build. Despite all the effort and all the trouble I had with it, we got it done. So that's what's important. Let me go ahead and give you a close-up here and we'll show you some of the details. So as you can see, we have our whitewashed camo. We have the undercolors of the black and that green color. That looks pretty decent. We have our aerials stretched back from that mast, 3 wires made from easy line. A little trouble with canopy going ahead and getting in there and fitting correctly, but oh well, we got it in. We did a lot of weathering on that with AK panel liners and AIM weathering powders, and we had to scratch build our pitot tube right here. That one in the kit just absolutely sucked. So we had to go ahead and just make our own out of stretched sprue. Not too bad. Yeah, this kit was a tough one to build, and I don't know if I really like the paint job. I think it looks okay, but I was able to use my references, and as you can see, we have half the red star. We have that little mast in the back there. We did add different parts and pieces on the cockpit. We added some seat belts. It's not great, but I think it looks okay. But that is it, guys. We are done, and thank goodness. I did not want to spend more time on this particular model. We still have 3 more kits we have left to build, and we have about a week to do it in. Not sure how that's going to work, but we're going to try. If nothing else, we'll extend it maybe a few days into January, but if I can, I want to go ahead and push this out and get it done within the week. We'll see. Lots of family stuff going on, but we're going to get it done. So until our next episode, guys, you know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool, and we'll see you back here on episode number 10 of the 12 Sprues of Kit-mas here on Ben Builds. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you soon.